Correct?
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Duffy, classmates. My name is Travis Stokes, and I live in Milton, Georgia. I moved here with my family about 6.5 years ago from Hawaii. I'm currently the treasurer of the Homeowners Association. I am employed by the second largest employer of Muscogee County and Columbus, Muscogee County School District. I I am a facilitator of All Pro Dad at the school. In All Pro Dad, we give an opportunity for dads to come in and have breakfast once a month with their students and just have a fellowship with them, hang out with them, and enjoy their company. I'm also a member of a mentoring program where we provide young men, we meet with them once a month. It's called ACE, Alpha Core Excellence, where we build, develop, and enhance young African American males in middle school and high school into well educated, strong leaders of our community. The background for me and my family moving here in Columbus in early 2013, as I was getting ready to retire from the Navy, we were living in Hawaii looking for and discussing where we were going to make our next move. My wife and I from Atlanta originally, and we thought about Columbus since it was important for me to be near a military base and near a Veterans Administration hospital. So we thought about Columbus. My wife had lived here before, and she was familiar. I had never lived here before, but I was looking forward to it. It was close to our hometown of Atlanta. At the time, around my retirement, my daughter was 18. She was getting ready to graduate high school. She had been accepted to Vanderbilt University, so she was going to stay here for a little bit while we was transitioning and go off to school. I had a 13-year-old son started middle school, and a 5-year-old son started kindergarten. All I knew about Columbus was it was named after some guy named Christopher Columbus. And my wife, she had put in a phone call to her previous employer when she worked here about 15 years earlier, and about 5 to 10 minutes into their conversation, he offered her a job. So that was sort of the sign that Columbus was the place for us. I wasn't too much worried about working, as I had planned on taking a year off to see where my next career was going to take me. Additionally, I knew that Columbus was known as the Fountain City because of all of the historic fountains that are in the area, and you'll see some of the pics that I'll have at the end of this session. Also, I learned that Columbus pharmacist John Pemberton, he invented my favorite beverage, which is Coca-Cola. He created it here in Columbus. It was originally called Pemberton French Wine Coca. And also, American Family Life Assurance Company of Columbus, AFLAC, was also founded here in 1955 and is still headquartered here in Columbus in Midtown and has the tallest building in the city. My wife, who is a physician assistant, had contacted her employer, like I said earlier. So we moved here, and at fate would have it, while we were still in Hawaii, she had an opportunity to come to Atlanta. So she drove down to Columbus, found the realtor. The realtor took her around Columbus in one day. She saw this area here in Midland, and there were 8 homes here at the time, about 8 to 9 homes built by Woodruff Construction Company. And for years, Woodruff had not built another home. And D.R. Horton came on and started building. Originally in this area, it was a horse farm. So to our right going up the street and to my left going up the street, there are horses still on several properties in our area. So at the time, D.R. Horton started building, the community started growing. So my wife found the lot. She flew back to Hawaii, told me what she found. I still wasn't sold, so we lost the first lot that she wanted, and I was able to secure a second lot, and I ended up flying home and driving down here to fill out some paperwork. So that's how we secured our home here in Midland, Georgia. The good thing about here in this area that my wife was so excited about was that we are right across the street from a middle school and an elementary school where we had two kids going to. And there's also a high school about 8 minutes away. And the area was up and coming, it was growing. They had a fairly new Walmart, Chick-fil-A in the plaza. So it was steady growing. Within a year of our arrival, all the homes had been built and moved into. Coming from a military community, we was happy that we moved in such a diverse community. In our community, we have active duty military, several retirees, we have several AFLAC employees, several TSIS employees, also some retirees. I live near an assistant principal. There are several teachers in the area, and also right down the street was an NFL player. So the diversity was nice, and we really enjoyed meeting our neighbors. And at one time, we knew every neighbor by name. We also formed a HOA, and for several years, we had a block party right before school started, and all the neighbors got together and enjoyed each other's company. We hired, as part of the HOA, I hired a lawn care professional to take care of our lawns. We changed over the utilities in our HOA name, and after a break-in of a few cars, we started a neighborhood watch. One of the first things we noticed about our community, as you'll see in some pictures later, was the bus stop was across the street on the main road. And on that main road, there have been several accidents during the year that we moved here. And it was just a horrible location. So we called myself and a few more neighbors, because we had kids and it's a no walk zone. We called Muskogee County School District Transportation, and they came out, looked at the area, and saw that it was unsafe for kids, and they moved the buses so they come into our cul-de-sac. So that was good to see that working with our community services was a great relationship. I had an opportunity to interview one of my neighbors, Mr. Williams, and here's a clip of our interview. Take me when you're ready. After talking to Mr. Williams, one of the things that I noticed that we had a lot of similar strengths and weaknesses, and also similar threats. And one of the things we had in common was my oldest son, his youngest kid, his daughter, are in the same grade. And when they was going over to Midland Middle School, they rode the bus. So he also said that a weakness was the bus stop. Very dangerous area. He also, one of the strengths of our neighborhood was that we knew everybody. You know, we because we live in a cul-de-sac, one street in, one out, we recognized when cars weren't supposed to be in our neighborhood. And it was nothing for neighbors to look after each other or go visit or go eat dinner. So that was definitely a strength. a lot of the strength that I had was the cul-de-sac as well. The, because we live in a cul-de-sac is on the two streets, a positive and the strength is there won't be any more houses built around us. 24 homes and that's it. Another strength is we live in walking distance of an elementary school and a middle school. And I also like the fact that right behind the elementary school is the beginning of the walking trail. The walking trail that goes 11 miles towards town, and once it gets to town, it goes down to Fort Benning. It's a total of 26 miles long. And my wife and I had ridden our bikes all the way down to the mall and back. That's about as far as our that we can get and be able to get back home. Another strength is we have great access. I mean, a minute drive to J.R. Allen or Manchester Expressway. So we can go either way, and within 20 minutes, anywhere in Columbus, we can pretty much get there. We have several supermarkets in close proximity, gas stations, as well as restaurants. There's a recreation center right past the elementary school and the walk, and also Flat Rock Park is right down the street as well. Another strength is it's really quiet out here because we have so many horse farms and farmlands in both directions. It still feels like the country when you're driving out here, but you can make a turn and be right at the restaurants. Some of the weaknesses are the 6 years we've been here, our HOA is so slowly crumbling. There's just no interest. So that's one of the things actually we'll be meeting about soon to make sure our HOA stays afloat. We need HOA communication tools. The next subdivision over, they have a nice website, and they also have a communication app where they, see cars being broken into, or they see things going on in the neighborhood, they can contact one another. There's been a little bit of a growth in crime rate, and there are some homeowners who have opted to rent their homes, and I think the difference in rental property is they're not obligated to take care of the outside and care about it as much as the homeowners do. And they're also right down the street, they're building a new complex called Midland Commons. It's based on Old Town, which is right down Veterans, where you can live, eat, and potentially work in one area. And they also would have, I won't say an old folks home, but elderly homes in the back, a grocery store, some shops. So I think a weakness is there'll be a lot more traffic, although a strength is they are widening the streets, but I don't think it's going to be enough to sustain the traffic in the mornings and afternoons. The opportunities are, I guess a trend in living conditions is the employment. It'll make employment better, so there'll be some employment opportunities in the area. And I think we do have a lot more police officers roaming our areas because there's a police station down the road. I guess the threat would be, I think public transportation is a threat. And I guess within the last year, they started public transportation around the corner. Again, I think a threat is rental property and crime. I think public transportation brings in crime. I don't have any statistics to back that up, but that's just my personal opinion. And I have several references that I'll also show on this page. Thank you for listening to me about my community. Have a great day.